Hey everyone, I will be up shortly. Enjoy this go live screen for a bit. I just gotta send a couple messages out. Hi everyone, and it's Tuesday. I'm not streaming. Wow. Oh my gosh. Uh, no, it is, like I said yesterday, a Final Fantasy week. So yeah, game plan today, finish the Final Fantasy 5.4 MSQ. I might do one of the raids because I have a high enough level for it. And also do my daily dungeon and whatnot. Ooh, Wind Up Gilgamesh was my random pet of the day. I think I'll get some of the random stuff out of the way before I focus more on MSQ. It has been a day. I need to one day go through and rearrange my spell bars. They're all over up that way. Okay. But yeah, right now I'm in queue for Eden's Promise. Where you'll probably see me die a lot. Because I only watched a video on this raid. I don't know how much I attained the information of this raid. I actually watched a video of all 4 raids. So yeah, this will be interesting. Oh sure, now my queue pops. I'll have to do that again when I get done with this.
I'm drawing out the darkness. Get ready.
Ooh. I know this song.
It worked, Gaia! We've done it!
That's one thing I loved about this game. They're so good with the old nostalgia. Yes, moving makes you go faster in video games. Yep. I was trying to get out of that. Fuck. Okay. Oh shit, what did I miss? There was a mechanic I missed. God damn it. I'm dead. Oh, both our healers are dead. I knew there would be death, and I knew it would be my death. Oh, I've been there, guys. Were you getting nothing? Ooh, I can get an accessory. That went surprisingly well. Of course, we have Delmina to thank for slaying that ghastly creature. You were fantastic, Gaia. Anyone would think you're an old hand at this. You weren't so bad yourself. We make quite a team, don't we? We certainly do. I don't know about you two, but I'm itching to see whether our hard work has paid off. Let's head back. Yeah, I'll sell that materia. The plants are just as lifeless as they were before. Maybe the light's influence is still too strong. What in the world? In fleeting hues and endless warmth, a gentle light washed over me. A glimmer of hope once lost. Gaia is more than a little vexed that your last outing did not result in greater changes in the empty. You tip the scales away from the light. I'm sure of it, but something is wrong. Very wrong. For 100 long years, I have waited for this moment. I knew it. You've been hiding inside Eden all this time. Fucking ASEAN? An ASEAN? I am Matron, a servant of Zodiark. The voice that has whispered to me all my life. Indeed, and thanks to you, I am all but free from my prison of light. Does that mean Eden was used to seal away an ASEAN? Wait, that is Eden. An ASEAN transformed into a Sin Eater. I heard enough about ASEANs to know they're nothing but trouble. But I never imagined that one of them was behind all this. I thought that restoring the darkness was my idea, but this was your plan from the very beginning. It was, but all it took was the slightest suggestion. The rest was entirely your own doing. My freedom is so close. I can almost taste it. Finally, my soul may journey beyond the flesh to which I am bound. I knew you would come for me, Gaia. Don't flatter yourself. You've caused me nothing but pain. If I've helped you, it wasn't intentional. Even now, your memories elude you. Hearken unto me, Gaia, and remember. I hate ASEANs. In an age past, the world you know as the 13th was flooded by darkness. Like ripples in the water, the repercussions were felt in the other shards, none more so than here on the first. It became perilously imbalanced and susceptible to the influence of light. Were light to consume the first as darkness did the 13th, it would likewise become a lifeless void, lost to our cause. We could not allow this mistake to be repeated. It was our duty to safeguard this world from the selfsame fate. After a time, Emmett Selk conceived of a plan to trigger a rejoining, utilizing that very light we had labored to keep in check, and tasked us with bringing the plan to fruition. But at the last, we were thwarted by Ardbert and his companions. Though our resolve was strong, theirs was stronger still. and as we fell, so too was the light unleashed. For us, however, death is not the end. Though our bodies may perish, our souls live on, withdrawing but temporarily to the rift. Until you can find a new body to possess. I too would have been reborn, but ere my soul could leave its corporeal form, Ardbert struck me with a blade of purest light, and that light enveloped my body, twisting it beyond recognition. Eden, the first Sin Eater. My soul felt such agony as I had never known, and then I knew no more. In my insensate, instinctive state, influenced by Ardbert's fervent desire to banish darkness, I unleashed the light burgeoning within me, and it spread as an all-consuming wave to every corner of the world. The flood of light. So that's how Sin Eaters came to be. All would have been lost had not the one called Minfilia appeared. Halting the light's inexorable advance, she saved what little still remained of the world. In the process, she also restored me a sliver of my consciousness. Though I remained trapped in my altered form, motionless, I was capable only of feeble whispering. Emmett Selk, couldn't he have saved you? Perhaps he could have, if such had been his wish. Far easier, however, to simply find another piece of my fractured soul to replace me. From his perspective, there was no need to intervene and potentially disturb the balance of ether. And so here I remained. So after you failed, he left you here to rot. Some friend he turned out to be. Thus abandoned, I called out for what seemed like an eternity to the only soul who could save me, you, Gaia. All this time, you were calling to me for help. Yes, but you had forgotten me, forgotten our duty. Though vestiges of your true power remained, you could not wield it at will. Time went by, and eventually change came. The light began to subside, and the dark of night returned. Gradually, my voice grew stronger until I was able to exert my will over you. You wanted me to free your soul from Eden, which is why you had me attack it, another plan that ended in failure, thanks to Delmina. Indeed, thankfully, your subsequent attempts to restore this barren land allowed Eden to absorb more and more ether, aligned closer to darkness, gradually eroding the cage of light that holds me. Owing to your most recent efforts, my mind is wholly my own once more, and I am able to project my image beyond those confines. Then all this time we've been helping to free an Ascian? That's a fine tale, but why should I care about any of it? What are you to me? Come with me to Eden's core. There I shall become clear. Wait! Damn Asians. I just realized something. If Eden has been absorbing all that rebalanced aether, that must be why we've struggled to restore life to the empty. I suppose we can think about that later, though. More importantly, it seems I've lost control over Eden, most likely because of the Ascian. Urianger specifically warned us about not listening to the fairies' honeyed words. So we'd better think this through before we go rushing in. Oh, if only he and Thancred were here now. Aw, she misses Dad Cred. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, Gaia. I shouldn't be so quick to lose heart. No, that's not what I meant. Who are Urianger and Thancred? Uh-oh, she's losing her memories. Wait, I know those people. I'm sure of it. But why can't I remember them? I thought something was strange when I mentioned the festival on board Eden. It was as though you had no recollection of our earlier conversation. This is most likely connected to Mitron. Damn it all. What more is that fiend going to take from me? To tell the truth, the thing that frightens me most is that you might forget about us. That won't happen. For every memory I lose, we'll make 2 more together. And if I need to know something, I can just ask you. Why not start by telling me about Urianger and Thancred? To be honest, my nerves are all a jitter, so I need something to help me settle down before we confront Mitron. Urianger is probably the most intelligent person I know. He spends a lot of time reading, but he also says I can't learn everything from books, and encouraged me to go out and see the world for myself. Sounds sensible to me. Much better to experience things firsthand than to read about someone else's, like those coffee biscuits. No book could ever describe how good they taste. Is there anything else you can tell me about him, Delmina? We'll just go with the first one. He is devoted to the study of prophecies. Prophecies are funny things, if you ask me. If people know that something terrible is going to happen, they'll go and prevent it, which would make the prophecy untrue. I wonder what Urianger would say to that. As for Thancred, he's the one who freed me from Yulmore. At first, I thought of him as my knight in shining armor, but really, he was much more than that. We traveled all over Norvrant. and he helped me become the person I am today. He even gave me my name. One of my discords is blowing up. Oh, okay. Never mind. We're gonna go with the first one again, even though the second one, he is also an expert in infiltration. That would explain how he was able to sneak into Yulmore and rescue the damsel in distress, just like in the songs. I'm hardly a damsel in distress. Well, I suppose I was back then, but Thankar taught me how to fight and survive. Actually, while we're on the subject, that gunblade over there belonged to Thancred. As far as mementos go, it's a bit on the cumbersome side, but it reminds me of our adventures together. Even though there's little chance I'll ever see him again, it still feels like he's here with me. Keeping your memories close. You know what? I should keep a diary. Even if I forget everything, at least I will have something to look back on. That's a brilliant idea. Since we're going to be making lots of new memories together, maybe I could write in it too. As long as you improve your handwriting before you go scrawling all over it. I'd like your entries to be vaguely legible, if you don't mind. Haha, of course, your ladyship. Who's blowing up my phone? Oh. So we go from a threatening Asian now to just girl talk. Oh, for crying out loud. This game sometimes. But before that, we've got an Asian to deal with. Let's get this over with. Finally, something sensible. Yeah, I won't be doing the next raid. I'll just be going to MSQ. We came as you asked, so start talking. Why settle for mere words when I offer something far greater? Eden will now afford you a glimpse of the past. More than a glimpse. In fact, it will be as real as any of the foes you yourselves have conquered forth. Conjured forth. Conjured forth? Wait, you don't mean to perform a summoning, do you? I do. I shall recreate the battle of 100 years past, which pitted Ardbert and his fellow warriors of light against their nemesis, the Shadow Keeper. So who will play the part of Ardbert? Whomsoever you choose, though his skill and strength will not be easily matched. And what do you hope to achieve with this history lesson of yours? You shall see, you shall remember, Now your very soul will revisit that fateful day 100 years ago. Gaia, you can't trust Metron. If you do, you'll end up being manipulated again. Rain. You're right, my days of being controlled by this demon are over. I have a new life now, and I won't let anyone take that away from me. My will is my own. You have no hold over me. This is all you're doing, accursed minions of light. I should be the one at her side, not you or anyone else. I shall take her beyond the reach of your poisonous influence and keep her safe. Dude's a dick. What have you done with Gaia? Nothing yet, but soon I will restore her to her true self, and you will help me to do so by conquering the adversary I present before you. He is a dick. I knew it was risky trusting an Ascian, but we played right into Metron's hand. We'll do whatever it takes to save Gaia. Fuck yeah! Agreed, there's no telling what kind of danger she's in, but wherever she is, I know she's giving it her all. Even though we're apart, we'll fight as one. Together, we'll bring an end to Metron's wicked schemes. Looks like Metron's grip on Eden has loosened somewhat, perhaps to allow me to send you to the battlefield. Once you get there, don't let your guard down. This may be a reenactment of a moment in history. The threat you face is very real. Whatever happens, you must make it through this. Gaia's counting on us. Yep, and we won't be doing the next raid tonight. But I am going to heal more to get me some goodies. Or a goodie. Okay, 490, 520. So, looks looks like my bracers is my lowest. Oh, goodbye materia. Okay. That's taken care of. Let's go finish those dailies and then off to do the MSQ. I got a bear. kinda lazy, so I'm teleporting. Oh, fuck. And of course, the pixies have new quests for me. That'll have to wait another day, because I'm gonna do some MSQ. Twould seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next, we will help the Second Order to free their tempered brethren from thraldom. Theirs is far from the only order, of course, and it will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest. But reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long been true. So instead, I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course, not only for Limsa Lamensa, but all Eorzea. Alvino's face is a picture, equal parts jubilation and relief. Woohoo!
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones.
Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me.
What in the world is that? A tower?
You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yes? This is she. I am. I'm looking at it. What? Understood. Send the Elder Seedseer my regards. The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea. Nothing more is known, only that they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert.
Oh, what are the Garleans up to? Or should I say, what is that fucking Ascian up to?
Forgive my directness, but would you join them? They may well need the help.
Of course, Admiral. We shall make all haste.
My thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the Navigator speed you on your way.
Alright, we're going to Alamigo. Now, what's my friend want now?
Thank you for coming so soon. I'll send for Commander Aldin at once, and we can decide what to do about these infernal towers.
Rocket preserve!
It can't be.
The palace! After them!
Hey, Ruban.
You're here, good.
Well, well, well! To be received by such an illustrious cast! Why? Even the hero of the piece is here! I feel quite starstruck.
This guy is a piece of work.
Is that Asahi?
His body, more like. You don't fool us.
Oh! You saw straight through it! Anyone would think you dealt with Ascians before. Permit me to introduce myself. I am Fandango, And may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance.
Yeah, what do you want?
My, straight to business is it? Suit yourself. It is my intention to recreate the final days, to which end I have distributed a collection of rather ingenious devices, or towers, which will, in time, give rise to the grandest of spectacles.
The final days? But it was the Ascians who labored to prevent them.
You're quite right, though I would expect no less from one responsible for eliminating my unsundered colleagues.
This guy is fucking insane.
Honestly, the three of them were obsessed with restoring the one true world. As a sovereign individual, however, I never had much interest in such things. I mean, why bother when you're just another sundered minion? Admittedly, Elidibus was not convinced by that argument, but thanks to you, I'm finally free of his incessant nagging. Free to use my powers as I see fit, to fulfill my heart's desire. And my heart's desire is to lay this half-broken world to waste, leaving nary a fleck of dust behind!
What? Why would you want such a thing?
Because I want wretched creatures who ask such meaningless questions to die! You! And you! And you! I want you all to die! And I want to die too! Oh, yes! I want to die and take everyone with me in a paroxysm of pain and suffering!
He is fucking insane.
I'm different, you see, from the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you. So don't bother trying to reason with me. You will find I have no reason, or creed, or any such tripe. I just want to destroy the world. But please do resist with all your might. It will add to my enjoyment. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes peeled, for the curtains have risen on the spectacle to end all spectacles. We, the Telophoroi, shall be your performers, and this very star our stage.
Oh, damn.
Ah, but I nearly forgot. I have a message for you. My esteemed patron, Lord Xenos, eagerly awaits you at the heart of the chaos. While I wish only to destroy the world, he exists solely to relive a certain, transcendent moment with you. And it is for that reason he would reduce all to ash. Pray see to it his dreams do not go unfulfilled. For if you should disappoint him, my trusty companion here, whom I've dubbed Lunar Bahamut, will burn your cities and everyone in them.
Dude, you're just gonna burn everything anyway.
Everyone out! My men will tend to the blaze.
Thank goodness everyone's safe. We managed to put out the fire, though not quickly enough to save the garden. Raban, can I leave it to you to send word to the Alliance? I'm going to take a unit and investigate the tower. We need to find out what it's for. We'll go with you. No, you won't. You'll rest. From what Merle told me, you're due some time off duty. Should we learn anything about the tower, we'll be sure to share it with you. Until then, I want you to rest. Very well, but if you need our help, don't hesitate. And take care, both of you. I will be back. I'm gonna grab a drink. I am back with a protein shake. Good. You're back. You're back too. Good. We received reports from the Alliance. Since we're all here, perhaps those who bore witness to the events in Alamigo could treat the rest of us to a first-hand account. No sooner do we overcome one problem than another appears. It would all seem tediously predictable, but for the endless variety of our foes. This Fandaniel sounds even more unhinged than his patron. That's putting it lightly. Unhinged, perhaps, but no fool. For all his pantomime theatrics, he gave away little about his plot. We know only that he intends to recreate the final days, and that the towers will somehow facilitate this. Excuse me. He also called his dragon Lunar Bahamut. Let's not forget that little detail. And the creature did resemble the descriptions I've seen of the Elder Primal. That may be, but the fact that it answered to Fandaniel would suggest they are not one and the same entity. I think it more probable that it is some manner of simulacrum, I can't even say that word right now, born of Asian magics. Whatever it is, for now we can work closely with the Alliance and remain vigilant. I believe that concludes our news. What of yours, Y'shtola? I have been to see the Sultana, knowing how quick the immortal flames are to dispose of their tempered. I judged it best to provide them with the cure first. As soon as I had sufficiently recovered, I traveled to Ul'dah and delivered the porksies to her grace, along with detailed instructions on their use. Yet my visit chanced to coincide with the arrival of some troubling tidings. The immortal flames had been on the cusp of agreeing to a truce with the Amalj, when the negotiations abruptly collapsed. The Amalja claim that a number of their kind have been abducted, and that men are responsible. Naught is known of the perpetrators as yet, but as the immortal flames went about investigating the abductions, they came upon one of Fandaniel's towers. On the subject of the towers, you may be interested to learn that they are not an exclusively Eorzean phenomenon. According to the Alliance, they have been sighted as far afield as Yangsha. Then it would seem reasonable to assume that they are everywhere. We simply have not found them. Well, as you said yourself, we can do little for now, save remain vigilant. And since we are dealing with a dragon, ostensibly at least, I believe it would behoove us to enlist the aid of an authority on such foes. Estinian! Estinian? Now just a moment. If he could be persuaded to lend us his lance, I would be the first to welcome it. But the truth is, we will struggle even to find him. You let me and Kryle worry about that. We'll sniff him out, no matter where he's hiding. Never doubt Tataru. She's still the scariest in the science. If indeed he is hiding, we have ways of locating him, regardless. So if there are no objections, we shall depart at once. Actually, any of the Lalafell, they are scary as fuck. Well, rather than sitting around, I think I might go to each of the city-states and educate them in the use of porkseed. They would doubtless appreciate that. But might you consider taking a moment to rest before leaving? You would be fresher for the task ahead. Well, my friend, our moment of triumph did not last long. 'Twas ever the way. The world often needs saving. And save it we shall. I, for one, do not intend to allow a nihilistic madman to take us all to the grave with him. Not when the future holds such promise. Nay, I will do all in my power to protect those whom I hold dear, just as you all have always done. Meanwhile, somewhere in the locks.
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them.
I wouldn't do that, Lise.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Whew, holy shit. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life. Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing her that you await her coming, though I confess, I may have singed her a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord,
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
Time for him to go to a new class. Oh, Zenos is going to begin his Reaper training. Alright, we're going to 5.5! We're getting to the end! Alice is waiting patiently for the return of certain scions. Alice and patiently do not go well together. Good news, Delmina. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Ah, a welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Excuse me. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alice, Gra, and Delmina. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try. Repeatedly. But no. He decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lee said, worse. In fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hand of Zenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather, transform it. Transform it? Into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Uyangje, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Fandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Uyangje. Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Of course he did. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Kral. We need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Uyangje before the meeting. Goodbye, Yashola. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole, as we are to see you safely return from your mission, Uyangje. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Oh, it's that guy! Ehrenwald, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you've grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elezen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Aurochs such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Aye, 'twas not until my 20th summer that I outgrew my boyish proportions, though Membrita towered over me nonetheless. Arenvald brings out the best in Alfino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola, mostly. We need him to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? Eh? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. We've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards. Alright? If Fordola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arenveld rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. Meetings, 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 and more meetings. Hey, Emmerich. How you
Ere we
doing?
begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrix. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Teleforoi's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Daniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more.
Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We're glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Everyone's gotta do what they can. He knows it's a big risk. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolver and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
He's not wrong there.
And you, Fordola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Yeah, I don't blame her for wanting to go. If she... That was a big part of her life and she wants answers.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, Ray. It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction. That much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Time to go to Ishgard.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Ah, Estinian, such a badass. Oh, this weather is an interesting type of weather. Quiggleven? Here be dragons? Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, he must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. Okay. Okay, so we are going to Foundation. That's what I thought. All present? Good, let's split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces and squares and markets and whatnot. You and Dalmina can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well, let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Skysteel Manufactory, so perhaps you should try the congregation. Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Good morrow to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I am afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alfina goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
I knew that was gonna happen!
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Oh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Oh god, he's going into fanboy mode.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
Perhaps he sees them as brothers he's never had.
Huh, good luck to them. It hasn't been easy being his sister, I can tell you that.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Aziz La.
Aziz La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Aziz La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azizlar together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest, but confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt.
He is so totally blunt. It has been quite some time since I last set foot in Azizla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit. Alas not, we had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Domina is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Let's just say it helped that Midgar Samar was there to introduce me. Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much as he should know. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on, undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Needhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Estinian is ready to lead the way to Tiamat. Tiamat awaits. This way. My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
That my sin should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. Hey, Maz! As to those who have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Americidia, our children. The icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark designs.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Yes, the dragons of Mericidia are at the mercy of the Asians. There can be no other explanation. Fucking Asians! Oh, she's nicer in saying it. Accursed Asians, vile minions of darkness. Again you would profane the memory of my beloved, and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you would not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
Wait a minute. I think this is the dragon from the trailer of Endwalker.
Behavior befitting a great worm.
We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Meracidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Oh, she is pissed. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed, asked the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb. And I think a certain elegant kitty cat can get you out of there. A cat boy.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. Take it, girl. Go with Estinian and fuck him up. When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow, for the debt I owe to Hydaelyn, and to all who have suffered for my sins. I shall fight with you, children of man. While porksies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger, and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Allegans kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to remove the removal of those shackles. I know Alfino and Delmina here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of the star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes, we are familiar with it. The Aether Chemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around on you. I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. And so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. And armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Ari has logged on! Okay, where the fuck am I going now? Oh, all the way over there. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is to simply identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Chocobo! Go, go, Chocobo! Her day link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advised deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. Blip bloop warning. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in minus 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Well, malord. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Oh, there's a little black mage. I'm afraid Ostini and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Yes, a chirping note which spontaneously warned me about neglecting dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the note of which Grahas spoke. And it was chirping, you say? Very well. Let us take a closer look. Here, notey, notey, notey. Blip, did you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? Bloop, bloop. You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Loop authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Welcome, Darmina Arya. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. A system update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Well, that's more than I can say, confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanisms, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. The issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal within the flagship. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiation placing and protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. This is what we need in technology. When we're so fucking frustrated with it, like, here, let me help you before you smash me into a million pieces. See, the Alligans knew what they were doing. Actually, I am going to end my stream right here because I'm going to have to go to bed very soon. So, everyone, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, you can follow me to get info on when I go live, or